You think being a man means looking hard. A deep voice, a flat face, never letting anyone see you flinch. You stand a certain way at parties. You talk a certain way around your friends. You practice not reacting when something goes wrong. And you think if you get that part right, everything else will follow. The respect, the trust, the way people look at you. But does any of that ever actually show up? It never comes. You still feel like you're acting instead of living your life. You still feel like a kid wearing his dad's jacket, hoping nobody notices it doesn't fit yet. Most guys think the problem is how they come across. They think if they looked more serious, more sure of themselves, people would treat them different. So they work on the outside, they work on their face, their walk, their voice. They watch guys online who look calm and cold and try to copy that look piece by piece. The flat stare, the slow talk, the never smile first rule. They think being a man is a costume you put on before you leave the house. Get the look right, and the respect will follow behind it like a shadow. So they keep changing the outside, waiting for the inside to catch up on its own. But that's backwards. Why? Because looking hard doesn't make anyone trust you. It doesn't make your friends call you when things go bad at 2 a.m. It doesn't make a girl feel safe walking next to you. People aren't watching your face closely enough to be fooled by it for long. They're watching what you actually do when it counts. Picture a guy who always looks calm, always looks in control, the kind of guy nobody messes with at a party. Then his friend's car breaks down on the highway at midnight, and he doesn't answer his phone. He's got a reason, he's tired, he's got somewhere to be, but everyone remembers that night longer than they remember his face. Looks wear off in 5 minutes. What you actually do stays with people for years, and it quietly changes what they think of you every time. Here's the real reason you feel like you're faking it. Being a man was never about how you look. It's about what you carry. Think of it like this. Everyone around you is holding something up, whether they say it or not. Your mom is holding up hope that you'll turn out fine. Your friend is holding up the plan you two made, hoping you don't back out. A girl you're seeing is holding up the question of whether she can lean on you. Being a man means you take some of that weight and you actually hold it, not act like you're holding it. Hold it. That means showing up when you said you would, even on the day you don't feel like it. Say you told your little brother you'd pick him up from practice at 6. You had a rough day, you're tired, you want to lie down. It would be easy to text him something came up. Nobody would even question it, but you go anyway because your word isn't something you use only when it's easy. That's the muscle. Nobody sees it. There's no crowd watching you drive across town for a 15-minute pickup. But that's exactly the point. Real weight is carried in places nobody's watching. It also means staying steady when everyone else is falling apart. When plans fall apart, when someone panics, when the room gets loud and scared, you're the one who doesn't add to the noise. Not because you don't feel it. You feel it just as much as anyone. But you don't let the feeling drive. That's a different thing than looking hard. Looking hard is a mask you put on your face. Staying steady is a choice you make in your chest, and it costs you every single time. And it means doing the right thing when it costs you something and no one is there to see it. Paying back the money you owe even though the guy forgot about it. Telling the truth when a lie would be easier and nobody would ever find out. Walking away from a fight you could win because winning it wouldn't fix anything. That's the whole thing. Not your face, not your voice, not the way you hold yourself walking into a room. What you carry, quietly, day after day, when nobody is clapping for you and nobody ever will. Picture 2 guys who grew up next door to each other. One spent his whole teenage years working on his look. The stare, the walk, the way he leaned against walls like he owned them. The other one was quieter, not much to notice. Then both of their dads left around the same year. One kid used the moment to get colder, more locked up, more "don't touch me." The other kid started walking his little sister to school every morning because somebody had to, and their mom was working double shifts just to keep the lights on. He didn't tell anyone he was doing it. He just did it, rain or not, tired or not, for 4 straight years until she didn't need him to anymore. 10 years later, people trust the quiet one with their kids, their secrets, their late night calls. His friends still call him first when something's wrong, even the ones who moved away. Nobody trusts the cold one with anything real. Guys still laugh at his jokes, still want him at the party, but nobody hands him anything that matters. He still looks hard. He still stands the same way at parties, still has that same flat stare he practiced at 17. But everyone can feel there's nothing behind it anymore, because they've watched him bail on things for 10 years. The other guy never tried to look like anything. He just kept showing up, year after year, for people who needed him to, until it stopped being a choice and started being who he was. That's the whole difference. One of them spent 10 years building a face. The other one spent 10 years building a life people could actually lean on. And when you meet them both, you can feel it in 5 minutes, even if you can't say why. So here's what you actually do. Stop working on your face and start working on your word. Pick the small promises first, the ones nobody would notice if you broke. Show up on time. Text back when you said you would. Do the small job you agreed to do, even when you're tired. Say your friend needs help moving his stuff on Saturday. You've got a headache and a group chat is planning something better. Nobody would blame you for skipping it, and that's exactly why it matters. You go anyway, and you carry the couch up 3 flights of stairs, and you don't make it a big deal. That's the rep. 1 rep doesn't make you a man, but do that 50 times over a year, with 50 different people, and something in you actually changes. You stop wondering if you're the guy people can count on. You already know, because you've done it enough times to prove it to yourself. When you mess up, say it out loud instead of hiding it. That was on me costs you nothing next to what it builds. Ask the people close to you what they actually need, not what looks good to give them. Sometimes it's money you can't really spare. Sometimes it's just you sitting there while they talk about something you don't fully get. Then do that thing, even on the days it's boring, even on the days no one would ever find out if you skipped it. You're not doing this to be seen. Nobody is keeping score except you. You're doing it because someone is counting on you, whether they said it out loud or not. That's the whole training. Small weight, carried again and again, in rooms nobody's watching, until it's just who you are and you don't have to think about it anymore. Here's the shift you need to make in your head. Stop asking, how do I look right now? Start asking, what does this person actually need from me? Simple question, right? But it changes everything because it moves you out of your own head and into the room you're standing in. A man who's always checking how he looks is still a kid, just a well-dressed one, still acting for an audience that isn't even paying attention. A man who's checking what's needed from him is already doing the job, whether anyone claps for it or not. You don't need anyone to hand you the title. You don't need a moment where it feels official, some birthday or fight or party where you cross a line. You just start carrying real weight, quietly, and one day you notice you're not acting anymore. You're just handling things, the way you'd handle any other job that fell on you. So drop the face. Nobody needed it in the first place. Was it ever doing what you thought it was doing? What people needed was someone who shows up, keeps his word, and stays steady when it counts. That's not a look you put on in the mirror. That's a weight you pick up and never put back down.